Well, good morning, Dave.
Hi, good morning.
Okay, how are you doing today?
Fantastic.
Okay. Well, thank you for allowing me to come in here and talk to you for a few minutes, get to know you better, and to figure out how you went about defeating your ego saboteurs.
You're very welcome. It's my pleasure.
So, to get started and to tell our audience what's going on, could you just fill me in a little bit on Dave Glaser and Fit Life Champs?
Of course. Well, I've been in business for 5 years this month. I began with one client as a personal trainer 5 years ago. That was my mom. She asked me to work with her once a week in person and get her to a strength and weight loss goals. And I found that I enjoyed it a lot. And a few months in, she asked me to find something a little bit more private than meeting up in a local 24-hour fitness. And so I found a studio space to rent, and then after about 3.5 years, they moved locations, and I decided to open my own studio. And it's grown into 3 teammates, plus me, plus countless clients in Denver here and across the world in our online training program.
You have an online program.
That's
Okay.
right.
We'll talk a little bit about that for a minute.
Sure. Our online training program goes anywhere in the world that you have a reasonably well-equipped gym, like a really nice apartment gym or a 24-hour fitness-like gym that you have access to. And we specialize in women 25 to 40 who have a history of trauma, who want to become stronger physically, mentally, and emotionally.
That's actually quite interesting, and glad that with a busy audience they can carry it around the world with their schedules. Okay. This is really about people being stuck, okay, and how they got unstuck, okay? So I want you to tell me in your own words, what was that point in your journey and how did you unstick yourself? What was your ego saboteur?
Over the course of 20 years of my experience with depression and anxiety, but we'll focus on the last 5 years of my life because my career was either flourishing or it was struggling based on who I was at that time. So there are a few moments in my career in the past 5 years that were aha moments for me. The first one was, I need to find the one person that I'm passionate about working with most. And that's where our specific niche comes from. The next aha moment was, I'm not passionate about running 4 walls and a ceiling as a studio owner-operator. I'm more passionate about working with people. The third aha moment was, I'm now less passionate about working with clients one-on-one in my day-to-day. Now I'm really passionate about working with personal trainers who want to build a business, master online training, and eventually open their own studio. So in a culmination of all 3 of those occurrences happening, they kind of coincided with my own personal development as well. The aha moment of finding my specific niche was when I really finally addressed my own anxiety and depression. When I started to work through that process, it helped me realize that I was very passionate about helping other people do the same through fitness and nutrition. Then the next aha moment was another low point in my life when I was running my own studio, and it was a very small space. It was like a really nice garage with heat and AC. So it was really nice to train people there, but I was alone. And I was on my journey by myself. And John Maxwell's 5 Levels of Leadership came into my life at that time, and I read through the book and I said, this is what I want to do. I want to develop other people to become leaders in their own right. And that's when I moved my studio locations. I went back to subleasing space from somebody else so that I didn't have to have the day-to-day repair and maintenance responsibilities, janitorial responsibilities, who's going to turn the lights on, who's going to lock the door, who's going to pay the electricity bill. That's not what I was passionate about. And so that came from a low point in my life when I felt alone. I had clients, I had amazing clients, that was a joy in my life, but I wasn't fulfilling my true life's passion by training other trainers to do what I do, but better.
So it sounds like your ego saboteur had a lot to do with your anxiety and withdrawal from people. Am I correct there? Okay. Well, I understand that you're working on a book this year. Okay. And so I want to see if you can give us a few nuggets here that give us a little bit about how you turned that around, how you went head on against that vulnerability, against that anxiety, and how you just finally said enough is enough.
I love that you say enough is enough because Anxiety and depression have this polarity effect in my life where I'm either super high, I'm super on point, I'm go, 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 go. And then when when the depression becomes triggered and it rises to the surface, it consumes me and it brings my energy down so low. But without those low points, I actually cannot become motivated to get up and out of it. So I experienced a low point in my life recently where things were great in business. I wanted to add more volume to my business, and that would have made me relate my personal success with my professional success, which is, as a business owner, I'm trying to deal with. It's one of my main focuses of this year is to detach my personal success from my professional success, because one does not have to depend on the other. So I hit this low point, and I really started to hear the message from the universe about what I'm supposed to do with my life. And my passion and my purpose and my message now is to tell the story of how anxiety and depression fueled a quest for a legacy in fitness and nutrition.
Now that's a huge step, especially for a man. So how has that message been viewed with your clients and in the larger business community that you work with? Has that been difficult for you to go out and say, here I am, this is my story?
No. It's been so welcoming within our community here at Fit Life Champions. Because of the niche that we serve, they can all relate. And they are all very accepting of why I needed to make that new purpose and that new mission of the business the actual mission of my life. And Fit Life Champions is a vehicle for me to use fitness and nutrition to impact other people's lives by telling my own story. Yes, I was able to overcome depression and anxiety in my own personal life and take out the possibility that it was going to affect my professional life. By serving people who are exactly like me, I'm able to pour back into that mission and that purpose and that passion. And the book just kind of rose up out of that low point in my life. And from a low point, I become super anxious and super energetic and super driven and super hyper-focused on my business. And the book just kind of flowed and it poured out of me. I took a lot of the content that I've been writing in the last year, a phenomenal article that has been well received in our community about how exercise and nutrition combat depression and anxiety. So I copied all that content and I put it into a Google Doc, and it ended up being about 50 pages worth of content that I'd already written. And my job now, my passion and my purpose and my mission becomes filling in my own personal story around the systems that I run my business with and that purpose, mission, and passion.
So when can we expect to see this book on the shelves?
Gosh, I hope it's before the end of the year. My goal is to have it polished off and well enough to present to an editor. One of our community members is a published author, and I've asked for her help to workshop this book with me once a week. And hopefully with seeking out help from a professional, somebody who's done it before, will actually make the story better told.
Well, thank you very much for that.
Mm-hmm.
So, in closing, I just want to ask you, if you had one piece of advice to share with your younger self on how to combat your ego saboteurs and save you some time, what would that have been?
Listen when you feel as if you should be speaking. To be the last one to speak in the room. In a corporate meeting, the leader in the room is always the last one to speak. You know, Humble, Hungry, and Hustle, H3 Leadership talks about that. And there's a few other quotes that jump to mind. A wise man speaks because he has something to say, and a fool speaks to say something. And I would tell my younger self, figure out the difference between those two, and you will become a better leader faster.
Well, thank you. Thank you for ending the interview on this note.
Of course.
And I appreciate you sharing this today with our community. And I hope in the future I'm going to be out there to get your book when it's on the shelves, and that we'll do more of this.
You bet. It was my pleasure. Thank you, Cheryl.
Thank you, David.
All right.